My name is Jonathan Garvin.
Yeah.
I'm a Rochdale boy, obviously, you know what I mean. I was born in Birchill, 12th for the 2nd, 1976, to my mum, Debbie. I mean, you know what I mean? And
can you tell me a little bit you growing up, about your childhood?
well, my childhood, really, to tell you the God's honest truth, I had a decent childhood because my dad was a trained engineer and all that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But obviously when you're young and you're around the boys and this, that and the other, it's like, right. So when we was like 11, 12, you know, you start camping out and that and smoking a bit of weed. But then we started like, fuck it. We'll start doing a few garages and sheds and you know what I mean? So we were nicking lawnmowers and fishing tackle and other bits, you know what I mean? And that'd pay for us like the camping trip. Because we'd have like my mate, he'd ring his mate and say, right, we've got fishing, this, that and the other. And so we'd all have weed and that. And it was one of them and ended up at Wardle High School because my mum used to live in Wardle. Ended up at Wardle High. But I got suspended 7 times in the first 3 years.
7 times?
For fighting. Because, obviously, with us being at St John's and the other lads being from another school that was further up in Wardle, it was like, right, they're the hardest in that school. We're the hardest. So you have to have your fights.
It's everywhere,
until you all get to know each other. So that's why I got suspended. Then from there, they won't have me at the school anymore. They had to get rid of me and they kicked me out of my karate club because I was brown and white belt first key. My mum's an instructor in Shotokan karate. She's a black belt instructor, my mum.
Wow.
And I did it for 5 years and I was only 1 belt away from black. But because of my expulsions from school for fighting, it didn't look good for the karate club. So he said to me, John, I'm going to have to let you go. Do you know what I mean?
That must be hard.
Oh, it was. I was gutted, do you know what I mean? I was only 1 belt away from black. If I'd have been doing it now, if I'd have still been doing from the belt that I was now, I'd probably be like 2nd and 3rd then.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? Because I used to do competition fighting in class, but because of me fighting at school and fighting all the guys and this, that and the other, Mr. Anderson, who was the fucking head teacher went.
I still remember it.
Yeah, of course I do. Oh, horrible little bastard he was. But he was the headmaster, you know what I mean? Yeah, because he went like that to my mum. He went, I hope Jonathan's got no brothers because don't expect him to come here. And then my brother's totally the opposite to me. Straight member, my brother, you know what I mean? In the army and all that. You know, one of them, he's one of them, my brother. Oh, she wasn't happy with that, my mum.
No, she wasn't.
You know, so anyway, they fucked me off from that school. Now I've got to find a school in Rochdale that'll have me. Now, I'm not a Catholic, so straight away, because I'm a Protestant, you know what I mean? Straight away, I can't go fucking St Cuthbert's. Balderstone School won't have me. The only school that'd have me were Fairlinge. So I ended up there in the 3rd year and 4th, and then, but obviously you get to know and you start whacking school and doing what you were doing and this, that and the other, and it was just like, but that's where, when I got to like 14, 15 and you start doing what you're doing, you start meeting the boys, more doors open to you, more opportunities, and that's when I started getting into the crime really, and the drugs.
How did you get into that?
Just for one of them, just being on the streets, having no, because I left home when I was 15. I got kicked out when I was 15 off my dad.
Your dad?
Yeah, my stepdad kicked me out because he found more money in my pocket than what he earned in a week. Because we were grafting work, we was doing sheds and garages and all that. So we were selling it on the weekend, and then I've come back from school one day, my mum's gone, right, what? I've gone and had a bath, come in. Now the bathroom, the bath was there, the sink was there, it was only small, and the toilet, so he's come into the toilet, but my pants, my school pants were on the floor. Now I'm having a bath, my mate's downstairs, he's picked them up like that, my money's fell out of my pocket, hasn't he? So as you can imagine, he's heard off his mates that I've been seen in certain areas, because he knew a few heads himself, like. So he weren't happy, so he kicked me out. When my mum was at karate, I was only 15.
Did that affect you?
Oh, big time, fucking right, it did. I've never been back.
Since then?
Since then, and I'm 46 in February.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? I left home when I was 15, I was on the streets when I was 15. And then that's when my life of crime and drug, you know what I mean?
Did you go to social services?
No. I got remanded in St Clair at local authorities when I was 16 for crimes.
Yeah, did you get arrested?
For burglary, yeah. Ended up fucking getting remanded into Curragh local authority. We call Mountwood in Lee Atherton.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I run off, and I went back because I met this bird who lived on the same road, Everest Road, called Justin, and I met her, and I ended up going back and burgling the kids' home where I was at. I took a big massive Finlander telly, separates and JVC bits, because they were all brand new at the time, and I knew that the security guard was right over the other side of the building, so he wouldn't hear me putting the window through, you know what I mean? Yeah. And the lads that were upstairs, I knew them all, so they clocked me, and they've gone, nice one, you know what I mean? But 2 days later, the police busted the house for me, and because I'd been remanded into Curragh local authorities and they wouldn't have me back, the only place they could send me then was Inley, and that was in 1993. And that's
93.
It was slop out then.
I was born in 91.
Yeah, 76 me. Yeah, it was slop out then. They'd not even built the new jail. You know what I mean? What they've got. I watched all that getting built. You know what I mean? It was like the pads were like 7 foot by they were probably 6 foot wide, if that. Yeah. And like 7 foot long. You know what I mean? And there was 2 of you living in it. No electric. No running water. No toilet. Just a potty on the floor, that was it. And 2 beds. And your bedding had loads of holes in because people used to bang lines out of the windows and
So if you want to go toilet, what do you used to do?
Hold it in. Or piss out of the window. You used to piss out of the window and you had to hold your shit in. You know what I mean? Wow. Or if you needed it, you have to have it, but then it's in a, you know what I mean? It's in your pad all night.
All night.
Yeah.
And you got a cellmate as well.
Yeah.
It's not nice to smell.
And you don't know who's going to come through the door when you're in jail. Because for all you know, I was only 16. I was only young. There were guys in there for murders and shit like that. Young YPs that were in for doing a long time.
Was you scared?
Yeah, fucking right I was. But I got bullied the first time I went to prison. Of course, yeah, I was only 16, you know what I mean? It was slopper, it was an hard place to live. Yeah. You've got Scousers, you've got Manx, and they're all firms. You know what I mean? But because you're from Rochdale, you're out of town. They class us as wolves, they call us wolves. Because of the cotton industry and the sheep and all that shit, so they call us wolves. Ah, you're a wool. You know what I mean? I'm not a fucking wool at all. You know what I mean? Well, that's but that's what they call us, wool. You know what I mean? Like Scousers, you've got Birkenheaders, haven't you? Yeah. Bacon and eggers, Jedis they call them. Yeah. Yeah, because they work with the force or something like that. The force is with them or something. That's what Scousers call them. Because I've done a lot of time in Walton as well. Because altogether in my life I've done 15 and a half years. Served.
15 and a half years?
Yeah, I've served. Prison? Yeah, I've served 15 and a half years of my life.
So when did you get released from prison when you were 16? What did you do after that?
I started working. I went to my nan's because my nan lives in town flats. Yeah. And I started working doing a YTS. You know, catering and that. Yeah. Because obviously and I like to cook and you know what I mean. So.
Are you a good chef?
Yeah, I'm alright, yeah, I'm good in the kitchen, yeah, fucking right, class. Yeah, I do actually, yeah. There's nothing I can't put together anyway. Wow. Yeah, I'm good in the kitchen, like.
So that's like your passion, cooking?
Yeah, food, yeah.
Food.
Yeah, that's amazing. I fucking love Miss Gran, mate. I do.
Do you cook for your missus?
Yeah, of course, she cooks for me as well. Yeah? Yeah, and we both cook together, we're good in the kitchen together, you know what I mean? She's kept me out of jail. Wow. I've been with her now, nearly 6 years. 6 years it'll be on the 24th of June this year, because I got out in 2016 after doing 7.5 years. I did 3 years in Italy, then I was extradited back over here to do another 4.5 years. Do you know what I mean? So.
How did you get into the drug game?
When I moved to Spain, and I ended up growing weed, you know what I mean, and meeting a few people and moving a few bits, and it come on top.
What made you to move to Spain?
My mum. She was living there. And I just got out of another prison sentence. So
you went to Spain for a fresh start?
Yeah. Ended up meeting a few people and started growing a bit of weed. Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's bits, and you know what I mean. There's bits like, but yeah. And then from there, one of the grows come on top, so I had to get off, and it was a choice between Amsterdam, or it was either Amsterdam or Thailand, and I thought, fuck Thailand, because if I got Thailand and get locked up over there, I'm fucked. You do not want to be getting locked up in Thailand. So I thought, well, if I got Amsterdam, at least if I get locked up for something like drunken disorderly or something like that, at least I know they've got decent courts and decent jails. You know what I mean? It's not a third world fucking country like. And I ended up in Amsterdam, and I ended up living in Zandam. Do you know Zandam?
I heard of it, I've never been.
Yeah. Well, where Central Station is, on one side you've got the train tracks, haven't you? And the bikes and that on you, and taxis, and then when you walk through you've got the ferries. And I used to take the Plane ferry straight across, and my mate had an apartment further down in one of the complexes, but going a good few miles, you know what I mean, on bikes and that. And he introduced me to some guy from Suriname, and he asked me, he said, how would you feel about going to Argentina? And I went, obviously you're not sending me over there to sightsee, are you? And obviously it's South America. So the only place I'm going to South America, and the only thing I'm going over there for is coke. I'm not going over for weed, because I'm in Amsterdam. Why would I want to travel from the best place in the world for cannabis? So I knew what I was doing. I'm not stupid.
You was not naive.
No, I was a fuck. You'd be stupid to be naive doing it. And don't get me wrong, at first when I said I thought, oh yeah, you know what I mean? But then, when I've been there for when I got there and I was there, the realisation when he walked in with a ball of cocaine with like 130, 140 bullets in it, 10 gram a piece, the realisation of what I was doing hit me then.
Was it pure coke?
Yeah, pure. Each one's 10 gram of pure cocaine. Peru's right next to Argentina. It used to take me 14 and a half hours. My first one I went Schiphol, Charles de Gaulle, Buenos Aires, then back. Second one, my second trip, I went from Schiphol, Roma Fiumicino, Buenos Aires, back again. The third one, I went Schiphol, I went back to Roma when I shouldn't have done. I went to Roma Fiumicino again, then flew straight back into Buenos Aires about 6 months after now. I shouldn't have done it like that. I should have left it longer. It weren't like I didn't have money in an apartment and that, because I did, I was living nice. But I got a bit greedy, didn't I? And my habit was getting bigger, I'd lost a lot of weight. Do you know what I mean? And I ended up, when I come back, I walked into the airport, I just got off the plane, just done 14 and a half hours, my stomach's killing. I've got a kilo of pure cocaine in my stomach, still wrapped up in the bullets. I've just done 14 and a half hour flight, but don't forget, you've got to give yourself 18 to 24 hours to swallow it. Everyone thinks you can just go.
I thought you just, I've literally, when you're talking to
me. If I passed you that lighter now and said swallow that, that's about the size of a good bullet.
That's like the size of a bullet.
They're probably about that big, each one of them. Can you see that? About that big. Wrapped in clip. What they do, there's a line of them. They've got one with a bucket, it's like a bucket and it's just full of pure coke,
Was he nervous? Because
I was nervous.
If you never done it before,
I was shitting myself.
So
the first time I did it, I walked in the flat where we were, and there was like 6 guys, 6 big yardie Suriname guys, all sat there strapped up, Now, I'm in Argentina, I'm on my own, nobody knows where I am in the world.
So you couldn't be dead?
I could have got shot. They could have done anything. If I'd have said no, I'd have probably ended up dead on the street in Argentina, because nobody knew where I was, for one, because you can't tell anyone where you are. You know what I mean? You're smuggling drugs. You don't want anyone knowing where you are. You don't want any landline phone calls. You don't want nothing. So when I walked in the flat, it was like, whoa. The realisation of what I was doing was about to hit me big time. And he walked in and I was like, whoa, hang on. Take them back and bring them in sets of 20, please. And he was like, yeah. And I did 1.4 kilo. 140 bullets I did. And I've done the biggest one that they've said ever. But don't forget, I slotted a lot as well. But I was a lot bigger then.
Yeah.
I was like 16 stone then.
How do you used to drink it, with water?
No, with water, yeah. What I used to do, they used to bring them in and it was in ice water because they like to keep it cold because it sets. You warm cocaine up, it goes back to liquid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how they used to test it. They'd open it and just drop it in water. And then when it sinks to the bottom, it's pure. And when you put it with them on, oh no, my bits like.
Wow.
I could sit here and talk to you for hours about things like that.
So you've been swallowed?
Yeah, I used to get one like that, I'd pick it out, put it right at the back of my tongue and just go and relax. But before I did that, I'd have a good shit, make sure all my clothes had just come from the laundry.
Yeah.
I've showered all my clothes because don't forget I've been smoking crack and that in the hotel room. I was getting 10 gram of crack delivered every day. I was getting a big like a tomato. I was getting a piece like a tomato given me every day.
10 gram?
10 gram every day, yeah. Until the last 4 days before I went. So my system was clear.
Yeah.
So if I got pulled in at the airport and they said, give us a sample, because I ain't got drug trafficking written on my head.
Yeah.
I've got nothing strapped to me.
Yeah.
The dog's not going to smell now. So the only thing they can do is take me out of the hospital for an x-ray.
Yeah.
But they ask for your piss test. A lot of them might have, a lot of airports will say can have a piss test. You know what I mean? So if I did, I was clear. You know what I mean?
So the first time you go through was...
I got through.
Was you nervous when you were...
Oh yeah, I was shitting myself. My ass was like a goldfish's mouth. I was shitting it, of course. Especially if one of them popped as well. But I didn't have, I'd left home, I had no missus, no nothing. I was a lone soldier then. You know what I mean? I was taking, I put my life in my hands 370 times. I come back to Rochdale and I get stabbed. I got stabbed through there, look.
Wow.
You see that one?
Yeah.
Got that one through my lung. Yeah. Then he cut my throat twice. And snapped my collarbone. And did me neck. I don't know. The police asked me the same question. They went, what did he look like? I said, you mad? I was running for my life. I said, I weren't taking fucking selfies with him. She's right, no, innit? Fucking hell, man, the guys just stabbed me up. I'm not going to stand there and say, oh, can I take a picture?
Why did he stab you? Do you know?
Well, it was just one of them. Something had gone on and...
Gone on, yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't need to get into that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's one of them, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It happened. If you don't mind me asking, how much was you earning from one trip?
From one trip?
Yeah.
20 bags. 20,000 euro.
Wow.
The more I brought back, the more I got.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And I was getting a paid holiday. But I was taking my life in my hands.
Was you ever be nervous the drug might...
Yeah. My second trip, I was on about, I'd done about 80, 90 bullets by then. Do you know what I mean? And they were running out of fucking normal sellotape. Because what they do, they take it out, put it on the scales in like a cling film, yeah?
Yeah.
And it'll say 10 gram and he'll pass it to his mate. Now his mate's got a ruler and an iron turned upside down, yeah? And what he does, he rolls it, yeah? And then goes and seals it with the iron, because the iron seals the cling film,
Yeah.
which is sealed then. Then he'll wrap it, then he'll cling it again, ruler it, because they've all got to be right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like a production line. And then from there he'll pass it to his mate, and his mate will take it in the kit and put it in the freezer. You know what I mean? And then when they bring them in, they put them in water, just to see if there's any leaks or anything, you know what I mean? Because you've got to be really careful. Pick that wrong one, you're dead. Luckily I did it 370 times and I'm still here to tell the story.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I've been a very, very fucking lucky man, mate. You know what I mean?
Lucky.
When I sat there in front of a shrink, she was like, what? You've done what? I was like, well, yeah. She was like, you know, and it's not like, you know what I mean?
So do you used to come and drop it back to the people and go back again?
Yeah. They'd pay me up.
Do you used to get paid before or after?
No, after. As soon as the job was done, I'd go back to another flat in Amsterdam, wherever it was, and they'd give me some fucking suppositories. I'd just stick them up my arse. But I'd be dying for shit by then anyway, because I've had them in my system nearly, 24 hours by then. I've swallowed them the day before. I've just done a 14.5 hour flight. Then I've had to get onto a connecting flight to fly another hour and a half back to Schiphol. Then I get picked up at the airport. Then I've got to go to where I'm going. Then I've got to get rid of them. On my second one, yeah, I come out of Schiphol airport. I looked at my boy. I went, hurry up, got in the car, yeah, and we're going to go CDI, yeah, brand new one, yeah. I've got 2 big yardies sat in the front, yeah. We're flying down fucking Amsterdam, right, as you come out of Schiphol. I've gone, stop at the garage, stop at the garage. He's gone, what's up? I said, I need a shit, otherwise I'm going to shit my pants. He's gone, right, stop. They pulled in, I've got like €50 note in my back, I've walked straight in. You know, tulips and all that, what they sell at the garage in Amsterdam. I've picked the whole fucking bucket up. Walked straight in with it in my arm. I've gone, how much for the lot? He's gone, I've gone, here, €50. I've gone straight out from the tulips and the water, straight in the bin. Got back in the car. I'm sat in the back of a car, Golf TDI, flying through Amsterdam, yeah. Shitting cocaine bullets like that. Bum, bum, money. Bum, bum. I've got 2 big yardies in the front going like that. You know what I mean? I've got, man, you can imagine, can't you? Oh, it was a fucking belter, it was. I've got them 2 with, and I'm like, that's money, that's money. He's like, get to the van as soon as I've got, you know what I mean? It's funny. Yeah. You can imagine the both like that. But I've been absolutely holding this thing in, you know what I mean? I've nearly enough had my finger up my ass walking through the airport because it's ready for coming out.
It's ready, so you can't hold it.
It's totally different. It's not like you eat food and it digests.
Yeah.
If that digests, you're dead.
So you can't let it digest?
No, you die. It has to come out the way it went in. If one of them twists or gets stuck and it pops, you know what I mean? If it comes in your anal passage or your passage wrong and it gets stuck with another one pushing it, it's not timed right. You know what I mean? That's why you can't like, because then they all get fucked up and then they don't come out in the proper line. You know what I mean?
So you have to take one after another.
Yeah, of course. Nice to take your time. You can't rush things like that. They used to call me the White Father Christmas. That was my nickname. The boy, that's what they used to call me from the boy. The White Father Christmas, we'll send him. You know what I mean? Because when they first tested me, yeah, when I got introduced and they went, right, they're going to meet you and speak to you, I went, yeah, fair enough. They've gone, do you want some to eat? I went, fucking right, I do, I'm starving. You know what I mean? I was living in Amsterdam, I was on my arse. And they went, what do you want? I went, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Now don't forget, these guys will see what I can eat.
Yeah.
What's the point if I can't eat a Kentucky fucking burger? What's the point of you sending me to Argentina to swallow coke? You've got a tiny belly. Innit? You're not going to send an anorexic fucking picking coke up, are you? You're going to send someone with weight, aren't you? He went, what do you want? I said, I'll have a family bucket. He went, what? I said, yeah, have KFC family bucket. He went, what, for yourself? I went, yeah. I just fucking scrammed a lot in front of him. They were like that. Fries and everything.
Finished it?
Finished a lot. And they were like that, he's on the next plane. You know what I mean? Full family buckets of myself. I just sat there and scrammed a lot in front of him.
Straight, next plane.
Yeah, boom, gone. Yeah.
So how did you get arrested?
They stopped me in Roma Fiumicino Airport. The Guardia Finanza they're called over there, yeah. And when I was going through the airport, the, you know, exchange terminal and all that, going from, because you're coming from South America and you're going into Europe, yeah. They have to do the security check since 9/11. And I didn't know, yeah, every plane coming back from South America, yeah, has got 2 Guardia or 2 police on the plane, always know. And the air hostesses are trained to watch for people like me. If I'm coming back on a flight from South America 14.5 hours, I don't eat and I don't drink. Why? Because your belly's full. So what they do, they write the seat number down, pass it, because all the air hostesses and the people know who the police are on that plane. So they give them the number. So then when they get off the plane, they pass it through and go like, right, stop him. So they stopped me. Not that I weren't eating, because I used to take the food and put it in a sick bag and leave it. You know what I mean? So it looked, when I passed it her back, she'd see that I'd ate. So where all she knew is that, well, he'd give me an empty tray back. Do you know what I mean? And then I'd try and sleep, but my stomach used to work that much. You know what I mean? It's fucking, oh, it's hard, it hurts. Really, really hurts. You know, because it's inside, oh. And when I was going through, I've done my fucking belt and this, that and the other, took it through. Next minute I walked, some guys come up to me and gone like that with a badge. Excuse her. I'm going, what? He said, tu. I'm going like that, what? He said, come here a minute. He said, where you come from? I said, England. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because to me he's asking me where the fuck I'm from.
Yeah.
I said, England, man. He went, no, travel. I said, oh, Argentina, Buenos Aires. He went, I see. He said, you on your own, solo? I went, yeah. Now, I couldn't speak a fucking word of Italian at the time, you know what I mean? I couldn't. I could say bits in Spanish, you know, I can understand little bits, I'm not daft. But anyway, they took me into a room, got my luggage, searched me, brought the dog in, the dog's done his rounds.
Yeah,
Clear. He's gone like that, tu cocaina. I've gone, no. He said, si, tu cocaina. I've gone, no. He's come over to me, he's gone, you know, my watch, I had a Rosenberg, a Paris watch, what I bought, €2,800 it was. Yeah. You know what I mean? It was a belt perpetual and all that. And he's gone, they were all showing me the watches, all the Guardia in Rome Fiumicino Airport. Yeah. Narcotraffico, bene. Rolex, original. Cartier, what they do, they take all the watches off them. If they're coming in with Rolexes on and all that, and they're trafficking drugs through their airport, they're getting rinsed. God, fucking right, they took mine, the cunts, and the box. You know, I'm right, they do. They're like trophies to them.
They didn't give you, they didn't put your property.
They fuck. Took my watch right off me, that went fucking gone. What am I going to do? Set a police, he's robbed my watch. He's a fucking Guardia, man. He's one of the top coppers in Italy. What, you just traffic drugs and you're telling me he's had your watch off? Fuck off. He won't even get a complaint form out. You know what I mean? Wow. Oh yeah, I was in the hospital for 2 weeks, man, shitting him out. Because I had an heroin habit and I was taking methadone, you know what I mean, while I was doing what I was doing. So it takes longer and they can't rush you. You know what I mean? Because because he put his hand on my heart, he went, to cocaina? I've gone, no. He's gone, see, hospital. Because what he did after that, he went, but in my stomach. Just touched me in my stomach at the side. I went, I hit the floor. Because my stomach's solid. You get a punch in the stomach like that when you've got cocaine and all that inside you, a big parcel, it fucking hurts. And I just hit the floor. He went, see, cocaina, hospital. They took me to hospital, Grazie, in Rome.
Wow. At that time, how many drugs did you swallow?
100 bullets. I had a kilo inside me.
1 kilo?
1 exact kilo, yeah.
Pure cocaine?
Yeah.
So you went to the hospital?
Yeah. Stayed in the hospital for 4 weeks, shitting them out. No, 2 weeks, sorry.
So you couldn't keep, what, they was watching you?
Yeah. You sat in a room handcuffed to the thing. They come in every 6 hours and change. There's special rooms in the hospital for people like drug traffickers. So special toilets and all that. Know what I mean?
You can't flush it?
No, can you fuck? They know, they took me into x-ray room, x-rayed me and you could see all bullets. You went, see, cocaine. You know what I mean? And then they kept me there and then from there, that's when, after I'd finished, they took me back down for an x-ray because they went, have you finished now? I went, yeah. You know what I mean? They took me to the fucking x-ray, x-rayed me again, went, yeah, he's right. Boom. Sent me off to Civitavecchia in Roma, the prison.
Prison?
Yeah. I spent 7 days in isolation, like, because obviously I'm a foreigner, they've got to see how your head is. Yeah. And you've got to see the shoe and do your bits. And then from there I went onto the wing.
Wow.
Yeah. I spent 11 months, then I got sentenced. Then from there they moved 50 of us over to Sardinia. They took 50 of us off the wing that week. Yeah. I've been in there nearly a year by then.
How long did you get?
How long? Altogether I did 7.5 years.
7.5 years.
I did 3 in Italy and then I had to come back, I got extradited back here. So the day I'd done my 3 years over there, what I had to do there, serve there, they brought me straight back to England to do another 4.5.
How was prison in Italy?
Scary. Yeah, fucking right it is. Screws lot come on the wing. Did they fuck, man? It's bandit country. I'd have gone on certain wings, I'd have been dead, me. Because of the Muslims and Turks and all that over there. I was a prize. A white English boy, innit? We was at war with ISIS at the time as well. Yeah. Fucking right. They were like, hey, inglesi, tu come aquí, tu fucking morto bastardo. You know what I mean? I was like, vaffanculo English, you know what I mean? Fuck off. I'm English, you cunt. I'll kill you. You have to walk shut. No. Oh, what's the guy? I went to the shower, yeah, the third day I was in there. I watched the guy have his intestines hit the floor. He just come up behind him and just go and wallop. You know what I mean? When we were in the shower. And you got to leave him. You can't go running up going, here, boss, or something. You know what I mean?
You have to leave him.
Yeah, right, you do. He's been cut for something, hasn't he? Over there, yeah, when there's a hit out on you, it's for your life. It's not like in English jails where they put an hit, it's for a good hiding. Over there, if they put a hit on you, it's for your life.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? People getting their eyes took out and shit like that. It's just like, pfft. I was like at me when it happened. I was spewing and everything. Know what I mean? I've seen guys in fucking bad, but I still have nightmares about that. You know what I mean? Just his face cried, screaming and that, the screams. And then you're watching his blood hit the floor and it's just everywhere. You know what I mean? And he's trying to pick his intestines up and shove them back in his stomach. I was like at me, bleh, bleh, spewed up all over the shower, me. You know what I mean? He fucking stunk and all. Wow. You know what I mean? Yeah, fucking hell. Seen people's eyes getting took out and that.
In that prison?
Yeah, because the screws don't come on the wing. They only come on mob-handed. They'll come on like 50, 60 of them in one morning and just do everyone. You know what I mean? They'll put us in a big room, lock us all in, or put us on an exercise yard. It's like, because all when they walk around the walls, they've all got guns. Everywhere you go, they're all armed.
Inside prison?
On the outside, the walls,
yeah.
They don't bring guns in.
Yeah.
When they move you, they stop, go to the armoury, pick the guns up, and then they'll take you out of jail. Yeah, Tech 9, whatever, Berettas, you name it, Glocks, whatever, they've all gone. They're all armed. Once you go to Europe, like over here, you might see a copper here and there with a gun.
Yeah.
Over there, they're fucking everywhere. Everyone's got a gun. You know what I mean? Don't matter who you are. They've all got a gun, they've all got access to guns. Yeah.
Wow.
Same in Spain. Europe's full of guns. Full of them.
So how many people was in your cell? Was you sharing a cell?
Yeah, 3. That first year. 3 of us, but then when we moved over to Islay, there was like 4 beds high. You know what I mean? There were like 24 of us, 25 of us in a dormitory. You know what I mean? With one toilet and that.
One toilet?
Yeah, and then that's when we got moved. It was like an holding place before we went to the jails, because they built some new big mafia jails in Sardinia. Wow. And we was there fucking in them. You know what I mean? Massimo and Sassari. Because I was in Italy, Massimo and Sassari when I was in Sardinia. Yeah. When I was in Rome, I was in Civitavecchia. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Wow. That's scary.
And then I got brought over here. Then I got out in 2016. Yeah. And then I met my missus 2 weeks later, but I've known her a few years, you know what I mean? Yeah. I've been with her nearly 6 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, she's kept me good.
At least you learn your lesson, you will never do that again.
Yeah. But yeah, there's plenty more stories there, you know. But
wow, that's mental that. If you got any advice to give to someone, what would you say to them?
What would I say?
Yeah.
Get a job. A proper job. Get a trade. Get a job. You know what I mean? Yeah. Start using the banks, do things that I think there's so many things that I could think that, you know what I mean? The way I could change in my life, but it's one of them, innit?
Because especially when you get money, when you do illegal stuff and you get more money, you keep doing it because it's hard to just stop.
It's horrible having to look over your shoulder every minute of the day. It's a horrible thing.
It is horrible.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. When you're doing things like that, you're never comfy, you're never relaxed. At least if you're working like I've worked, you know what I mean? I've had a few jobs over the years, like. Yeah. But at the end of the day, there's no better feeling than getting paid at the end of the week on a job, you know what I mean? Yeah. And knowing that you don't have to look over your shoulder.
Or you don't owe no one money.
Yeah. Wow. And you ain't got no one looking for you. Wow. That's probably about it, yeah.
Wow. Bro, thank you so much for your story.
You're welcome, man.
I appreciate it, bro.
You're welcome.
Wow. Thank you, bro.
Thank you very much for watching Jonathan's story. We're now going to talk a little bit about it. Please don't forget to subscribe if you have enjoyed it. Thank you. So Jonathan, he said himself he had a decent childhood.
Yeah.
Until sort of, he said himself, till sort of 11, 12, where he started smoking weed. And then in order to fund the weed habit, which I think 11, 12 is a bit young to start smoking, but weed's not awful.
It is awful at that age.
At that age, but weed in itself isn't, unless you're Jeremy Kyle, in which case
no, but it depends what are you using cannabis for?
I think he was just, from what he said, he was just hanging out with his friends, wasn't he? And
using cannabis for pleasure?
It sounds like it, I don't know. Like, I think at 11, 12 is a bit young, but...
Too young.
Like, I was probably only a couple of years older than that when I would hang out with my friends and drink.
Was you?
Yeah.
Is he a little arky?
No. I don't know. Is that not just what you do at that age?
I never done that, so... Hey.
We don't want to talk about what you did at that age. So in order to fund that habit, he started...
Doing crime. Yeah.
Stealing from sort of sheds, garages.
Yeah.
Which I know some may view as like a harmless crime, but I don't know, there's something about stealing that really gets to me. As in the victims. Like, I just know that I work hard for my stuff, and if I went home and someone had, I think I'd feel really violated that someone had been in my space and taken,
Would you feel violated if someone stole something from your house because they needed food?
It's tricky, isn't it? Because there's
not
not many people that steal for fun, but...
But it's a question. You're not answering me, you're trying to avoid
I'd still feel violated that
Would
someone
you?
else had been in my house.
Even if starving?
Bitch, I felt violated that the rats were starving and they were in my house. It doesn't matter what it is. It's someone in your space that's not been invited. I don't know, I understand why people have to do it and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's one of those crimes where I really feel for the victims. Like shoplifting from shops and that doesn't really get to me that much. Because I just think they've got the money to swallow that loss.
It's not that.
As far as victimless crimes go, that's I know you can't get a victimless crime, but shoplifting from a shop is quite high up there. If you're shoplifting from a big shop, Aldi or
if you had your own corner shop.
That's why I changed it to big shop, like a chain.
It still affects them somehow. It does.
I don't know. So he got suspended from school 7 times for fighting, and eventually kicked out.
That's a lot, 7 times.
Yeah.
A lot.
But again, I feel like we come back to this time and time again. There's surely more that schools could be doing. Suspending him. Clearly, when you get to the 2nd or 3rd time, you've got to be didn't really work in, is it?
No.
But
then again, if it's disturbing if it's disturbing other people in the class, we have to remove him.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that bit, and obviously everyone else needs a fair opportunity to learn.
Yeah.
But they've got to be other stuff they can do, short of suspend. There's got to be other avenues to try and tackle the core root of why he's fighting or what.
Yeah.
Because 7 times is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it's clearly not working. So then his stepdad kicked him out at 15 for stealing.
See, that's why I don't get along with stepdads.
Not stepdads.
No, seriously. It's not your place to kick someone else's kid at the house.
No, I know.
And that's why I don't like them. Period. Don't get me wrong, there's some stepdad that step up to the plate.
And they're amazing.
They're amazing, they're doing a good job. But if you're going to step up to play the roles as a father figure to the kid, you can't just give up on him when he's doing things like that.
No.
You have to stick there. You can't just be around when he's doing good stuff, and when he's doing bad stuff you don't want to know him.
But I think you've got to look at it as well in the way that some parents probably would have done that as well.
Not parents that I know, because regardless what my son's doing, I can never kick him out.
Especially when, in Jonathan's case, it left him on the streets, he didn't have anywhere to go.
Yeah.
So at 15, he was living on the streets, and I think that's when the sort of life of crime really kicked off. He ended up going to prison when he was 16, and he said himself he was scared.
Yeah. It's a new experience.
Not only that, like, it's surely unlike any experience he's ever had before.
Yeah.
And at 16, like, you're in there with some presumably bad guys that have done a lot worse things than stealing.
But in prison, I don't think that they put you in the category, like, especially if you're on remand, they mix everyone. Unless if you're VP, they call it vulnerable prisoners. Then you have the officer got the duty of care to protect them, so they put you on the different wing. But if it's not that, it mix everyone together.
But even, like, despite being scared and that, it wasn't enough to sort of turn him away from that life.
No.
Because he's then spent the rest of his life in and out of prison.
Yeah.
In a way, that's almost done, like, the opposite of what they probably intended to do, and, like, toughened him up.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know, it's just sad. Like, if he'd been offered some other support or more support when he was younger, like, would he have gone down the route he went? Like, I know you never know what.
But that was, like, probably a long time ago. Things have changed.
Yeah.
At that time, the government, the way they deal with kids now, and then it's totally different.
So we are making baby steps in the right direction.
Baby steps are better than no steps.
That's true, though. I know it's still not great, but yeah, it's better than not moving forward.
Yeah.
So, I think he ended up in and out of prison a few times, and then he moved to Spain to be near his mum, and ended up growing weed.
It's always scary to go to a foreign land and start committing crime, because to be honest, you don't really know how things work over there.
Yeah.
And when he was growing cannabis, and I guess the police got onto it, and he had to leave the country. That's when he went to Amsterdam.
But he still thought it through, because he makes that comment about he couldn't decide between Amsterdam and Thailand. Then he went with Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Based on, and I'm sure this is not what many people think when moving countries, based on the prison systems. That's how he picked between the two. Amsterdam prisons and courts look better than Thailand's prisons and courts. But I think that just shows, like, how far into that lifestyle he was. That was one of the major factors in him deciding where to move to. So when he moved to Amsterdam, he got introduced to a guy who got him into the drug smuggling.
Yeah.
And he said himself, he knew what he was doing. He wasn't stupid, he wasn't naive. And I think he knew what he was doing, like, as much as anyone who's never done it before could know.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
But
like, he wasn't going into it naively, but unless
you've
done it before.
Yeah, I think he knew about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he knew the danger as well.
But then I think the realisation hit him, didn't it, when he got over there?
Yeah.
And the stuff was put in front of him to swallow. And I think that's when...
That's scary.
I can't even... Do you know, up until, like, age 20, I had to take Calpol because I couldn't swallow paracetamol and they're tiny. I really struggle with swallowing tablets.
So you couldn't do that job?
Hell no. I'd gag, I'd throw up, no.
20 grand?
I mean, no.
You thought
That's what I'd say, I'd give it a good go. I feel like that's not appropriate. I think next time I go abroad I'm going to get stopped at the airport. No. 20 grand is tempting. No, but seriously, with the money they offer, like the 20,000 for one trip and an all expenses paid holiday, I can see why people...
At that age as well, you need to bear in mind, he doesn't have enough kids.
To himself, no kids, no partner, like nothing tying him.
His parents kicked him out, and he's trying to just make a living.
Yeah. But still, like, that moment when you see it in front of you, like, that's when it must really hit you, and I guess that's the point, you also can't back out.
You can't back.
You can't.
You can't.
Like he said himself, he'd have probably been a body on the streets if he'd backed out.
I totally agree with that.
Which is scary because people get themselves so far, and then the point where, if they probably sat and thought about it, they might back out, is the time that they can't.
But these people will sell you a dream, tell you like, we've done it plenty of time.
But the thing is, he did manage it twice before he got caught.
Yeah.
But I guess at that point, do you feel like it almost gets like addictive, as in the easy money, you've done it before.
I don't think it's like, I don't think you get
but like
addicted
the thrill
to
of it.
I think because you
Or
get
the money.
I think you get away with it once, twice, you start believing yourself that
You can keep doing
you
it.
can keep doing it. And I don't think you get addicted to it. I think it's greed. You become greedy.
But like addicted to the money.
Addicted to the money, yeah, if you can call it.
Because it is, I wouldn't say it's not easy money, as in...
Definitely not easy
like you're
money.
literally risking your life.
Because if one of them
bursts
in your belly, you're dead. And we're talking about pure cocaine.
It's not easy money.
It's not easy.
But there's not many other jobs where someone would offer you 20 grand to do one thing.
He's brave for doing it. He's stupid, but at the same time brave.
No,
I couldn't do that.
No.
No.
Nope. And so he did manage. He got away with a couple of trips, and then he did get caught in the end.
Yeah.
And he did 7.5 years, half of that in Rome, and then half in this country. The things he saw in the jails there, like he said himself, he's still has nightmares about it. I can't
see someone's belly
and not being able to do anything about it, like not even being able to go get help for the guy or anything, because then it's your life on the line.
You go for help.
You're the next.
Because they won't ask you seeing the person done it. Even you don't want to be a grass. Just the fact that you spoke to the officers automatically make you look like a grass.
And I know some people might not have sympathy, as in, I know some people think, well, they're in prison and like they deserve what they get. But you got to remember that even people in prison, like, there is times where people are wrongly imprisoned and they didn't do the crime.
Yeah.
And B, like, they've still got families and people that care about them, and that's still a human life. Like, it doesn't matter what you've done.
I disagree with you on that.
Oh.
Totally disagree with you.
That's for me, to be honest.
It depends on what crime. Because if you're a child molester, I wouldn't care if you get killed or not in prison. I don't care if you got your family. I don't care. I got a little boy, you know. If someone do things like that to my little boy, I want him dead, to be honest.
No, I get what you're saying.
It depends on crime the person committed.
But do you not agree that a lot of people make the generalisation that any person in prison would deserve that, and I don't think that's the case?
No, I don't think a shoplifter deserve that.
No. But would you agree that a lot of people do sometimes make that generalisation?
Why do you want me to agree?
You would disagree with me.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from.
That'll do. Yeah, like that must really stick with him.
Yeah.
Having to have witnessed all that. Like, I can't even imagine seeing that kind of thing.
And the hardest thing, you can't speak the language, right? So automatically when you go there, you're a victim.
But it's in this country, I think especially, people are very quick to judge foreign people and look down on them.
Yeah.
So in a way, it almost feels like karma that he gets judged for being English and being the odd one out.
Oh, there's 100 of British abroad. What do you think?
Like, doesn't that almost feel like a sort of nice karma?
I wouldn't say it's a nice karma. I just think some people are just pathetic. Too quick to judge if you're foreign. If the thing is like, if you're foreign, you're a doctor, they praise you. They praise you.
It's all about what you do, not where you're from.
It's not about what, yeah. But if you're foreign and you're doing robbery, they don't want to know you. Yeah. So basically, English people just want to pick the best.
Best cats.
They just want to pick the best. And sometimes you have to balance it.
It should be about what you offer as a person, I think, like not as your job. like, if you're a good person, it shouldn't matter what you're doing. Trying your best.
That's when you think.
You can never please everyone at the end of the day.
You can never please everyone. You can't. If you think you're gonna please everyone, you're failing. You don't have to please everyone.
No.
Not everyone gonna like you. You're not gonna be everyone's cup of tea.
I think as long as you like you, that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
If you can stand by everything you've done and justify it, then...
Justifies to who?
Yourself.
Yeah.
Then...
For me, it's like, if you look in the mirror and you look in your reflection, you need to talk to yourself sometime and then see what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong.
Mm-hmm. So, the bit we'll finish on is his bit of advice, which I thought was really, really good advice. His advice is get a trade or get a proper job. That there is nothing worse than spending your whole life looking over your shoulder.
No.
Being paranoid. Which, do you know what? Like, I never given too much thought to that, but that's true. Like, when you're doing the kind of things he was doing, you must be constantly on edge. Constantly looking over your shoulder.
You do.
So I thought that was sound...
That's a good advice.
Yeah. But hopefully, because I think at the moment he's still living on the streets. Sounds like he's never really got back on his feet, but hopefully.
And he got his girlfriend.
He's got his girlfriend now, and he says she's helping keep him out of trouble.
Yeah.
So hopefully things will start to look up for him now, because it's never too late. Like, you can always change your ways.
Hopefully he get a job and get back. He loves cooking, that's his passion.
Yeah.
So if he get into cooking...
Doesn't Gordon Ramsay does he not still do that thing where he offers people that have been in prison?
No, he went to prison, so Robbie watched him.
Okay. Gordon Ramsay watches this. It's highly doubtful. But please, Jonathan would really like a job. But yeah, hopefully he'll get back on his feet.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you again next week.